The estimated demographic figure ranges from 22 million to 36 million deaf and hard of hearing. Of these, only a few million are considered deaf, and the remainder are hard of hearing. The deaf are a very close community. Amanda and her family let us talk to them about deafness and their way of life. They communicate through Irish Sign Language. Sign language is different all around the world. St Vincent's Deaf Club is where deaf people meet to socialise. Many activities for the deaf are held here, including the Scouts, where Amanda's mum Brenda is a leader. This is Amanda. She recently graduated from Trinity College studying an Irish Sign Language course. Amanda is the only hearing person in her family. She told us how she deals with it and how she lives in two worlds, the deaf and the hearing. Tell us a bit about your family.
Well, in my house there's four of us. There's my mum, my dad and my brother, and the three of them are deaf and I'm hearing. And in the deaf community I'd be known as a CODA. That means like a children of deaf adults. So there'd just be CODA conventions on where a load of CODAs would meet up and like we'd all have, we'd have a bit of laugh and we'd talk about stories that we had to deal with, growing up, because we'd have a lot of things that we identify with each other, compared to normal hearing kids that were born into hearing families.
Was Irish Sign Language your first language?
Yeah. In some cases a lot of people would be able to speak if they had a little bit of hearing family around, but because my dad came from a deaf side of family and my mother's mother, so my granny would live down the country at the time, so there was only Darren, me, my mum and dad, and they all signed, so sign became my first language because I'd known as a role model or anybody to speak to me in English, so that's where I would have signed first.
Do you feel like you live in two different worlds, the hearing and the deaf?
Yeah, definitely, because I would have, growing up I would have known a lot of people in the deaf community, but then as you get older, I would have been in the hearing community because I would have made friends and I would have known a lot of people in my area from working in the shop, so I probably knew everybody around my area, so living in that hearing world and then coming home to the deaf world, it'd be I know my mum's friends, my dad's friends and my brother's friends, where they'd all be deaf, so it's kind of you live in two worlds.
Do you see being deaf as a disability?
No, I don't see it as a disability. When I'm with my deaf friends, I don't feel like it's a disability, because we do a lot of stuff together, play football, go golfing, we can travel all over the world, I'm grand, we've no aids to bring us places or anything. But then, if I'm mixing with a load of hearing people, there's no communication, it's oh, I don't know what you're saying and stuff like that. So that would lead it to be a disability. Because some hearing people don't know how to communicate with a deaf person and kind of panic and think, oh, disability, and that's why the label would be labelled on us.
Do you find it difficult having a hearing child and a deaf child?
Not really, because they're my kids and the only problem I'd have was with the TV, if Amanda wanted to watch a programme and Darren wanted to watch a programme but one had no subtitles, it wouldn't be fair to let one watch.
Did you ever take advantage of your parents not being able to hear?
Yeah, definitely, that's a big one. When I was growing up, you'd take on the role of the interpreter, so, parent-teacher meetings, I had the power of saying, if the teacher said, well, Amanda's not really doing the best, and I'd be she said I was very good, and as time went on, my ma kind of copped on, she had their, facial expression saying, why is she not looking very, and I'd be oh, she's just a very cranky teacher, very moody, but you'd have, certain roles that you could just take over, and you would have the power, and I suppose taking advantage, bringing people back to your house, and, when your man and dad's in bed, and have a little party downstairs, and no one would hear, there are things like that,
Do you believe that your deafness holds you back from moving up in your job?
Yeah. I can see it. They see it as a disability and they won't give us a promotion. They think oh, they're disabled, leave them there. They always pick me to do the low jobs, cleaning and you know, I never get like a good job. Like that frustrates me. Like I can't get promotions or, you know, get higher, work the way up the ladder.
You took a heart attack a year ago. How did you call for help?
It happened early in the morning. I was having a heart attack and I was in great pain, like, so I had to run in and ask my daughter to ring an ambulance, and then the ambulance came and brought me to the hospital. Thank God Amanda was there.
Did they offer you an interpreter?
No, they didn't even ask. They didn't even mention it. She just kind of wrote stuff down, and then sometimes, like, I'd use Amanda, you know, if things, I use Amanda as an interpreter.
How did you manage in times of an emergency when you needed to contact your mum and dad?
But basically, all I have is text messages. And that's really it. Like, you know, if there's... It's more like if I had an emergency, the first person I'd probably ring is my boyfriend, like, because he can hear, like, you know, or if I put down for next of kin, because you get through to him quicker, because if I was to text me ma or dad about an emergency, like, they mightn't have their phone. They could be in the sitting room, they could be in the kitchen, you know. So.
And just on that same topic, your dad, when he took the heart attack last year, thank God you were here.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, you know, because I sometimes sit down and I think about that, and I think, God, if I wasn't here, and I sometimes think, God, I'm so lucky I was here. What if I wasn't, you know? And it's kind of a bit of a responsibility I kind of take on, but it's tough, like, you know.
Do you think they should have a special service for the deaf in times of an emergency?
Yes, definitely they should have them. For example, like for the 99 service, how can I use it when I can't hear? I can't pick up the phone and ring. They should have a special like number, like, for texting. Like, you know, if I could send a message, and it should be aimed for to get the police, the doctor, or an ambulance. Like, if I'm feeling sick or anything, I should be able to get that service. Yeah. Still to this day, there's not enough services. Like, if I want to talk, like, I have to write down stuff, and my English isn't great, so sometimes, like, I don't really understand what's going on. I kind of pretend I do, so it's not great.
Are your everyday activities different from a hearing person's?
Yeah. Like, for example, at home, I need to have a light flashing if someone's calling at the house. Like, I use on the telly, I have to have subtitles. Like, without subtitles, I wouldn't be able to understand what's going on. So subtitles help when I'm watching TV, and then the mobile phone. But the mobile, you know, the old text messages are brilliant. I find that great. It's real helpful.
Do you feel that there is a big separation between the hearing community and the deaf community?
Yeah, still to this day, like, there is a separation. Like, for example, you know, if you go to weddings or parties, I always see, like, you know, there's always the family, the friends, and they're always separated because it'd be the deaf gang together and the hearing groups together. And then we always notice they kind of start mixing with each other when they have a few drinks on them.
Are you proud to be deaf?
Yeah, I'm happy. There's nothing wrong with me. I can do everything. I can walk, I can drive. The only thing I can't do is hear. That's all. It's not bad. It'd be worse to be blind or in a wheelchair, like.